So now we know the general equation of a quadratic function is this: y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b, c are constants. A, b, c are constants. Now if a is positive, the graph looks like this, which is a minima. We call it a minima, which is a minima. This point is called the turning point. It's called turning point, and the values you obtain here, the x intercepts, we call solutions. Now if a is negative, what will happen? Then the graph looks like this. It's a maxima. So the top point, that is called turning point. You can see that is the turning point. You come to, the curve comes to that and turns around. This is turning point here. Now we will consider an example. Suppose you have y is equal to x squared. So y is equal to x squared. How it looks like? It looks like this. Now here you have 1 and that is plus 1. So it's a minima, and the minimum value would be 0. So this is 0, 0 is the turning point. That's the turning point for y is equal to x squared. Y is equal to x squared. So now how do you know that this goes to infinity and this goes to infinity? So that we have to understand. So now when x is going to infinity, that means when x is going to this way, horizontally, infinity, we will see what will happen to y. Y, x infinity squared is goes to infinity. So that's why we are capturing this. When x goes to infinity, y goes to infinity. What will happen when x goes to minus infinity? What do you mean by minus infinity? We are looking at this side. When x is going this way to the left hand side, what will happen? Y goes to minus infinity squared, which goes to infinity. So that's why we are capturing that. So that's why it is going up. Now in this equation, what are the x intercepts? X intercept is when y is equal to 0 always. So now you have y is equal to x squared. So y is equal to 0, it's x squared, so x is equal to 0. So x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0. So that's what you got here, 0, 0. Now when a question is given in that way, first of all you will look into this plus 1. So a is positive. So a positive, that will tell you the graph should look like this. That shape. So that is the first impression. Now you need to find the x intercepts, right? So to find x intercepts, y should be 0. So what you do now, x squared plus 5x plus 6, now y is equal to 0. You make it equal to 0. Then you need to solve it. How do you solve it? You can factorize it this easily. X plus 2, x plus 3 is equal to 0. So from here you can get x is equal to minus 2 and minus 3. So now you can draw it like this. So here it's minus 3, here it is minus 2. Right? So how to find so now we found minus 2 and minus 3, they are the x intercepts. Now we need to find the turning point. So turning point is a middle point, right? So this is the turning point. So turning point should be in between minus 3 and minus 2. So the turning point coordinate, suppose xt and yt. So the turning point coordinate xt would be, this is how you find, you add x2 values, you know, 2x values, which is -2. So now turning point x you can find, that's the middle point, by adding -3 with -2 and divided by 2, because that's the middle point, and that would be -5 divided by 2. Okay, so xt is equal to -5 divided by 2. So how to find yt now? That's the next question. So how to find yt? So to find yt, what you do, we will use our equation. Yeah, so how to find yt? We know the equation, y is equal to x squared plus 5x plus 6. So to find yt, we will plug xt into the equation. So it's xt squared plus 5xt plus 6. So xt is equal to -5 divided by 2 whole thing squared plus 5 -5 divided by 2 plus 6. So that is yt. When you simplify it, you get the solution of yt. So first of all, my observation would be here the coefficient of x squared is +1. So I know up front it should look like this. Now I need to find the x intercepts. So to find the x intercepts, what you need to do is y should be equal to 0. So that will tell you that x squared plus 5x plus 4 is equal to 0. So x plus 1, x plus 4 is equal to 0. Then x is equal to -1 and x is equal to -4. So now you can properly draw that. It would be like this. So now here it's -1, it is -4 here. Now you need to find the middle point here. So middle point, the turning point, that would be xt and yt. So xt you can easily find. Why? Because xt is the middle point here. So xt would be -1 -4 divided by 2. So it's going to be -5 divided by 2. Right. So -5 divided by 2 is xt. So now how to find yt? To find yt, what you will do is exactly. So yt would be, so xt squared plus 5xt plus 4. So it's just a matter of you putting this value over here and then simplify that, and that would be the answer for yt. So that's how you find the turning point. Yeah, so in this question, so again, you know, the graph looks like this, and to find the x intercept, what do you do? You take y to be 0, so then x squared plus 4x plus 3. So here you get x plus 1, x plus 3 is equal to 0. So you get x is equal to -1 and -3. So now -3 is here, -1 is here. So this is xt and yt. So you can do a similar job. So xt would be -1 -3 divided by 2, and it's going to be -2. So yt would be now xt squared plus 4xt plus 3, and when you sub this value here, so then that would be your answer. Okay, so now in this example, again you will see the coefficient of x squared is +1. So the graph should look like this, a minima, and now you need to find the x intercepts, right? So to find the x intercepts, you need to equate this into 0. So now you understand from here you can't factorize this using the general method, so you use the perfect square method. Perfect square method would be x plus 3 squared plus 7 minus the square of this one which is 9 is equal to 0. So you get now x plus 3 squared minus 2 is equal to 0. Now what you do, you bring this one to the other side. So x plus 3 squared is equal to 2. Then x plus 3 would be square root of 2, but you have to put plus and minus. So now x value would be minus 3 plus square root 2 and minus 3 minus square root 2. So now you have your x intercepts. So now how to find xt, x coordinate of the turning point. So to find that, xt would be, suppose this is x1 and x2, so x1 plus x2 divided by 2. So essentially minus 3 plus square root 2 minus 3 minus square root 2 divided by 2. You can cancel this, it's going to be minus 3. So you found xt here. So to find yt, you have to sub this xt value into the equation, which is xt squared plus 6xt plus 7. So it's going to be 9 minus 18 plus 7. So it's going to be minus 9. It's going to be minus 2. So now, yeah, we know the turning point is minus 3 minus 2. The turning point is somewhere here. So minus 3 minus 2. So these points we already found, that is x1 point and x2 point. Okay, as a summary, to graph a quadratic, you need to know first the shape of the graph. So that you can understand from the value of a, whether a is positive or negative. This is the coefficient of x squared. The second one is you need to know the x intercepts. Third one is you need to know the turning points. So if you figure out these three, you can draw a graph. So let y is equal to x squared plus bx plus c. This is the general quadratic formula, right? I need to factorize this. So the question is, factorize this equation. So obviously, you know, we can't use the general factorization because the details are not given, but obviously we can do the perfect square method. Okay, first of all, we have to factorize this. So it's y. So I'm going to take a out. So that would be x squared plus b divided by a, x plus c divided by a. Then what you do, you keep a out. X plus, you divide the coefficient of x by 2. So it's going to be b divided by 2a. The whole thing squared. Plus c divided by a, and always you minus the square of this one, which is b squared divided by 4a squared. Then we can take the common denominator and simplify further. That would be x plus b divided by 2a, the whole thing squared. So plus, I will take the common denominator as 4a squared. So this is going to be now 4ac minus b squared. So now I'm going to rearrange this. A, x plus b divided by 2a, the whole thing to the power 2. I will take minus out from the numerator and I will write b squared minus 4ac. 4a squared, like this. Now we define a value we call delta here. We call it delta, which is equal to b squared minus 4ac. This is called delta here. Okay, so this b is equal b squared minus 4a is equal to is delta. So you can write y is equal to a and then x plus b divided by 2a, the whole thing to the power 2 minus, now this delta divided by 4a squared. So that is just a notation. So now this delta is this, and which we call discriminant. So this b squared minus 4ac is called the discriminant or delta. So now with this delta, it's very easy for us to simplify. Next we have to find x intercepts. Next we have to find x intercepts in general. X intercepts in general. So you can find x intercepts when y is equal to 0. So when y is equal to 0, what you get, 0 is equal to a x plus b divided by 2a, the whole thing to the power 2 minus delta divided by 4a squared. Now we know that a is not is equal to 0, so then you can divide both sides by 0 and then you can say x plus b divided by 2a, the whole thing squared, is equal to minus delta divided by 4a squared is equal to 0. So now we have to find the x intercept. So that means we have to solve this. So what I will do, I will take the minus delta divided by 4 squared to the other side. So that would be delta divided by 4a squared. Now you can take the square root of this one. So that would be x plus b divided by 2a. So when you take the square root of this one, plus and minus comes into play. Delta square root, the square root of 4a squared is 2a. Now what we will do, I'm going to move b divided by 2a to the right hand side. So I would get minus b divided by 2a plus or minus delta square root divided by 2a. Then the common denominator is 2a. So it's going to be now minus b plus or minus delta square root. So far what we have done, we have the equation ax squared plus bx plus c. Suppose a is positive, so the graph would be like this. Now once we solve this one, we got x intercepts. So we have two values, which is minus b plus and minus delta square root divided by 2a. So there are two values. If you expand that, x1 would be minus b plus delta square root divided by 2a, and the other value of x2 would be minus b minus delta square root divided by 2a. So now that will tell you in general, this is x1, which is minus b divided by 2a minus delta. This can be minus b plus delta divided by 2a. Essentially this is x2, this is x1. Now there is a very important argument. Now y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c when a is greater than 0, it looks like this, but we don't know these a, b and c values. We don't know these a, b and c values. So depending on these values, graph can be like that, or graph can be like this, or graph can be like this. So there are three possibilities we can satisfy this equation. So here we have two solutions. See, we call it two solutions. This one has one solution. Why we call it one solution? Because we have only one X intercept. No solution. No solution. Top one has no solution. Now, before we do the math, we should be able to know whether we have one solution, two solution, or no solution, right? So to do that, what we do, we know the general solution of this one, which is minus b plus or minus delta square root divided by 2a. Now you will understand, if this delta value is less than 0 and this delta value is equal to 0, if this delta value is greater than 0, what will happen? Now that is what we are going to discuss. If delta value is less than 0, you get a minus value square root, right? Minus value square root. So minus value square root is not defined. So not defined. So that means this is the condition for no solution. Now if delta is equal to 0, that means square root of delta is equal to 0. So then the solution would be x is equal to minus b divided by 2a. So here you can see only one solution. If delta is greater than 0, that means this one would be greater than 0. So then x has two solutions, which is minus b plus or minus delta divided by 2a. So then this is two solution. This is the condition for two solution. So now as an example, there are three equations given. So we have to find how many solutions exist here. So how many solutions exist here? So first of all, we have to understand what is ABC. Here a is 1, b is equal to 5, c is equal to 6. So in this, a is equal to 1, b is equal to 4, c is equal to 4. In the third one, a is equal to 1, b is equal to 4, c is equal to 5. So now to understand no solution, one solution, two solution, delta is what you have to find. So delta is b squared minus 4ac. So now that would be b squared here is 25 minus 4 times 1 is 4, 24. So it's going to be 1. So it's delta greater than 0. So delta greater than 0 means there are two solutions. So when we go to the second example, so now again delta is equal to b squared minus 4ac. Now b squared is equal to 16 minus 4 times 1 times 4, 16. The answer is 0. So delta is equal to 0. That means there is only one solution. So now when it comes to the last example, so delta would be b squared minus 4ac. So b squared is equal to 16 minus 4 times 1 times 5. So the answer is minus 4 and less than 0. So this is the condition for no solution. So we can conclude that this equation has no solution. That means no X intercept. This one has two solutions. This one has one solution.